Just look at that. That is absolutely superb. Look at that. Okay, with this nice little bit of loin there, with that little bit of fat on, I'm just going to score the top actually. Not too much, just a little bit like that. And that is going in our vacuum bag. For our marinade, I'm just going to use no more than just soy sauce. So I'm going to just go in there with some soy sauce. Okay, then all we've got to do is take our sealed meat and put it in our sous vide box. So all we do is just set it for 7 hours, and then in 7 hours time our pork will be perfectly cooked. We'll take it out and we'll roast it. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing a full dinner. You know, I've had so many requests to do a full dinner. I'm using an air fryer. I've sous vide some meats. Now if you don't have a sous vide, you're going to have to cook everything in your oven or air fryer. But I've sous vide. I put it on this morning, 7 hours. I've got a pork loin joint cooked, ready to go. We're going to make roast potatoes, apple sauce, stuffing. We're going to do the whole shebang, all here, using a microwave, the 24-litre air fryer, and the sous vide. That's it. So there's no panic, there's no hassle. You know, everybody can make a full roast dinner in such a small space like this. So remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Let's crack on and get it done, come on. Okay, there's quite a few little things stuffed around me in front here. That's just so you can see what's going on. No hassle on any of this. Take a pan, we got some potatoes, I've already peeled them, and I've cut them up into good sized chunks. You know, we're going to make roast potatoes. So they go in there. That's easy enough. We want to salt these a little bit. Now that's up to you whether you salt them or not. I will. So these are going on behind me. We're going to boil the taties for about 5 minutes only, and then we're going to turn them off. Drain them, fluff them up in the pan, and then they're going to be ready for roast potatoes. They'll go in the oven. That's how easy that is. So we are going to make some Yorkshire puddings. So in there I've got some eggs. I'm going to go in there with some milk. I'm going to give that a little beat. Just break up those eggs in there with that milk. I'm going to go in there with a little pinch of salt. I'm going to go in there with a little bit of pepper. Now pepper's optional, that's my choice. I like pepper in there. And then we're going to add our flour. All-purpose flour or plain flour, as you know it in the UK. Nothing about it, not sieve, not nothing. It's just in the bowl and it's gone in there. In it goes, mix it up. We actually want a little tad of water actually. I'm just going to put a little splash of water in there. And we'll just bring it all together. Get it all beaten in there. Stick it on the side. Job done. Okay. Our sous vide pork, we need to get that out of there. So let's just take our pork out of there. Whew, that's a bit warm. Out it comes. And on there. That's our sous vide pork loin. They're cooked. That is perfectly cooked. But it's going to look really bad. Okay, it's got to have a crust over. It's got to go in the oven. But that's our sous vide pork. Let's get rid of this. Okay, potatoes just coming to the boil behind me. Right, our pork. Our pork out of there. And we need to dry this. It has to be dried. Sous vide pork always looks terrible. It looks very anemic, but it's perfectly cooked. Now we need to dry that off. When we sear it in the pan, it's got to be dry to sear. If not, it ain't going to sear properly. So that is our pork loin done. There we go. Now we're just going to put that to one side while we crack on. And that is just going to air dry a little minute on the side. Next job for us, we are going to make a stuffing. Breadcrumbs in there. Nice and easy. Move that to one side. We need to fry some onions for our breadcrumbs. In fact, I'll cut those up first and put them in a microwave box. Let's get that done. And then we're clearing things off this table. I'm going to microwave this veg before roasting it. That makes it quicker for us. Okay, we've got some parsnips which I've already peeled, and we are just going to cut those like that. So we have a little bit of parsnip like that. We're going to take our microwave box and we're going to dump them in there. And I've got some little carrots. We're going to do exactly the same with those. We're just going to cut them in half, nice and steady, and throw them in the same box. They can all do together. We're just going to microwave them for about 5 minutes in there. So that's our veggies done. Veggies to one side. They're going to go in the microwave. Right, we've got some apples here. We want to make a quick apple sauce, and we're going to do that in the microwave too. So we need to peel, cube these apples. We're going to shove them in a microwave box with a tiny bit of water and some lemon juice. So tiny bit of water in there. So let's get peeling. Now these are terrible apples, as you can see. They're not the best, but they're fantastic for this. So peel them off best you can. Either use a knife or a peeler. It's entirely up to you. Let's not get hung up over peeling old apples. Now you don't have to be very careful, you know, you just need to take out the core, and we want to be cubing. So we're going to take that core out of there, and then we're just going to be cubing up these apples. Now the smaller the cubes, the quicker they're going to turn to mush in the microwave. There's our apples, and then all we have to do is just squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in there. That's going to give us that little bit of sourness, and it's also going to stop these apples from going too brown. And then what we need to be doing is hitting that with a tablespoon of sugar, maybe it's a little bit more, and then we're just going to give that a quick stir over so the sugar and the lemon juice and the water is all over those apples. Microwave 5 minutes. Okay, whilst we got those apples going in there, we are coming on with this pan. Get a flame under there, and we're going in there with some butter. We're frying our onions in butter. You can use oil if you so wish, but we're making a stuffing, and it wants to have that buttery flavour, you know. So just get that little butter melted in there a little minute. We're going in there with our onions. Start to cook the onions down. Use the posh word of sauteing, or just cook them down till they're translucent, and a little bit of colour if you can. If you don't get that colour, don't worry about it. Little bit of salt, draw out that moisture, give that a little twirl round in there. Microwave's pinged. Take off the lid, give those a stir, and that's going back in for another 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is add some sage, dried sage, to these onions. Now we're going to go in there with about 2 tablespoons. Now by putting it in there, it's going to bloom out properly and cook the sage, and the oils are going to come out in there with that butter and those onions. It's going to bloom properly. We're going to get maximum flavour. 10-20 seconds or more. Let's have all that flavour out of there. Okay, flame off. Got our breadcrumbs in there with our onion and sage mixture. Got a little bit of chicken stock, just give that a mix through in there, and then add some of that chicken stock. Now don't go too crazy just yet. We don't want to make it too wet, but we do want to have this very moist. This is going to go in the oven, so I'm going to go in there with all of that. So there we have a fantastic stuffing mix. Take a tray or a glass tray like this, in there, butter all over the bottom of there and up the sides. Leave the butter in there with our stuffing mix. No fancy packet mix here, we're doing it all ourselves. Now, don't squash. A couple of little knobs of butter on there, like that. Little bit of foil. Get some foil over that. That is going to go in the oven. Now you could have had a beaten egg to this stuffing mix if you want to bind it up a little bit more. I don't want to bind it up, I want it as it is. We're going to put the oven on and we are going to cook about 175. Take a tray, put that on there, give that just a second. That's long enough. In we go. And we are going to cook this for about 25 minutes. Quite chunky these. These are going to need a little bit more time. Probably about another 5 minutes. Okay, so we are making up a cornstarch slurry to go in our apples. About a tablespoon of cornstarch or corn flour, and we're going to put about a tablespoon of water in. We're going to give that a mix up, and that is going to go in our apple sauce when it comes out. Okay, here we go again. Whew. There we go, we got some mush now. We just need to mush them up. A little bit of butter in there. Little stir through. Our cornstarch slurry that we've just mixed up. In there. Stir that through. Microwave 1 minute. There we have it. That's our apple sauce with a little bit of texture, look, and that nice little bit of gloopiness. That is applesauce done. Veggies in the microwave 6 minutes. Okay, that's had that little bit of time, look. What we need to do now is take the tin foil off, put it back in for 10 minutes. That goes back in for 10 minutes. So that's our veggies. Done. Leave them to steam in there, one side. There we have it. Let's get that out of there. Stuffing made. And we are just going on there with some more butter. Shock horror. And the foil that we had is going back on there. Okay, so we've got the applesauce done. We've got the stuffing done. Potatoes. A little bit of oil. A little bit of salt. A little bit of shaking around so they're coated, and a little bit of tipping in there. Straight back in that oven. Bring your oven temperature up now to about 190. Oops, we're doing the wrong one. About 190, and give it about 15-16 minutes to cook those potatoes. Potatoes done for now. Yorkshire pudding tray, well, it's a muffin tray. In there. Now we're going to turn up the temperature again. We're going to 230. And all we're going to do is warm the pan. So remember our Yorkshire pudding batter mix that's been sat on the side. Not in the fridge, not anywhere. Give it a little stir up. Now we're going to chuck this in a jug, just simply because we're going to pour it into that tray, and it's going to be a lot easier to pour out of here than it is to pour out of the bowl. Now we're not heating up oil, we're not messing around, we're just warming up the tray, and that is warm enough. Out it comes. Now we're going in that tray with a little bit of oil. Now this is canola oil. And then we're going in there with our batter. Then we're going to shove that back in there. And that's all it is, it's going in there, and then we're going to up the time to about 22 minutes. They're looking done enough for me actually. I think we're going to get those out of there. Get those. Okay, and we just need to be putting a little bit more oil. Just need to be putting a bit more of our batter back in there and put them back in again. Might as well use up all the batter. We'll get that back in. "19 minutes this time." Okay, while that's doing its thing in there, we need to start to sear up the meat. Now we're using the same pan that we had before with the sage in it, and we want to go in there with a little bit of oil. So as you know, with sous vide meat, there is no colour on this whatsoever. In fact, it looks atrocious. Now we just need to put some seasoning on there, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. We are just going to put a sear on our meat. We're going to sear up the meat the best we can before it goes in the oven for a big sear. Okay, that's job done. We've seared it all the way around. It's got a nice little bit of colour. As soon as these Yorkshires are done, we're going to get that in there with the veg. Job finished. Don't throw your oil out, that is going in the tray when it goes in. Okay, they're done enough. I think we're going to get those out of there. They're fine. Look at those. They are absolutely superb. Look at those. That is what we call a Yorkshire pudding. And all we're going to do is just take those out of there and just chuck them in this bowl. Yorkshire's done. Just look at that lot on there. Now the tray we've been using, we want to take our meat that we've just seared, and that goes on there. We put a little bit of that oil on there, and then remember our microwaved parsnips and carrots. Just rub them in that hot oil. Okay, that back in the oven. In the oven 10 minutes, as hot as it is. And that's it. All we need to do now is knock up some gravy. I mean, come on, look at these things. Huh? How easy is that? Okay, and when you've got about 4 minutes left on there, back in with your potatoes. And they're going to get warmed up back in there again. Easy as that. It's quick cooking. Well, it's not quick because we've been cooking for ages, but that's job done. Let's get that out of there. Oh, come on. Look at that on there. Absolutely perfect. Take our pork off there. Okay, so we've done all the work. Now we just need to slice our pork loin. In we go. And you can see how soft, how moist that is. That is wonderful. So I would say that that is a pretty fair effort. One man, small kitchen, sous vide the pork first. The pork is perfectly cooked, roasted off in there. You know, we've got the parsnips, we've got the apple sauce, we've got the stuffing, we've got the Yorkshire puddings, we've got the carrots, potatoes. Let's shove it all together and get stuck in. Just look at that. That is absolutely superb. Look at that. Small kitchen cooking, one man's dinner, fantastic. I don't mean one man's dinner as in one man's dinner, but you know, one man's dinner. Okay, come on, we have to get round and give it a taste test, if there's any room. Okay, just look at all this. Masses and masses of food, you know. Fantastic Yorkshire puddings. Yorkshire puddings, so superb, puffed up, all made in the High Sapiente air fryer. You watch me do it, there you have it. They are stunning. Fantastic roast dinner. Let me just move the dinner a minute. And this is what we're demonstrating. Look at that, how moist that is. Look at the moisture that's coming out of this pork. Just look at it. Look at that moisture. That's sous vide. That is absolutely perfectly cooked pork. It's beautiful. So moist, so tender, it's so juicy. Look at it all. Oh, come on, let's get in here. That is a bit special. On here with some mustard. Oh, there's not much in here, I'll have to get another jar. On here with some mustard. Oh, come on. In here. Oh. Oh, roasted carrots. Oh. Parsnips. Apple sauce. Potatoes. Oh, come on. Our stuffing. Light. Oh. Oh, that is wonderful. That is first class. That is really nice stuffing. Well, I'm gonna have to go for it. Gonna have to get into this Yorkshire. Oh, look at that. That is absolutely perfectly cooked. Wow. All cooked in an air fryer. Our pork. Look, I know this is a sharp knife. Hang on. This is a butter knife with no edge on at all. This is our pork loin. Look. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. Oh man. That is one beautiful, beautiful cooked pork loin. I realise many people don't have a sous vide. They are so cheap. They produce fantastic results. You know, cook that pork loin like that. You've watched everything and you've seen me cook it in the air fryer. That is absolutely stunning restaurant quality pork. That is absolutely, truly amazing. There you are. That's how you cook a roast dinner at home. Combination cooking of a microwave, a sous vide and an air fryer. Phenomenal dinner, so easy to produce, it's delicious. So remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications every time we upload. So if you like what we're doing, tune in to the next video.